All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, guys. Sergeant Moose here, back with another the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video. And you guys might be wondering, why are you making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre video on this channel when you said you were done with horror? Well, that is right, guys. We are. This video, of course, is going to make an exception, though. By the way, for those of you guys that still enjoy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre content, we haven't abandoned the game or quit playing the game. We actually still play the game almost every single day over on our Gore and More channel. That's right, guys. Plugging it in there a little bit if you guys want to come check that channel out. We still play TCM all the time, but I figured it was best to make this video on this channel, guys, because this is where I've had, most of the playtime, stream time, videos and stuff, and engaged with all you guys the most was on this channel, and this will unfortunately be the final, definitely the final, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video we make here on the channel. And with that said, guys, most of you guys already know the news. Gunn has officially announced that TCM will be getting no more content. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, obviously, guys. This is a really tough one for me to wake up to this morning. And I don't know how long this video is going to be, because we have a lot to talk about here. This game has been my entire content creation existence for the past 2 years, but I don't want to make this video all about me. But first, I want to talk about, guys, let's see the article that they released. Like I said, as soon as I saw on Twitter, that's where I first saw the post, where it said an update about the future or whatever. I was like, that's it. We all knew. It's just that tiny little caption. We all knew what was coming. But this is the actual full article. It says an update on the future of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, DLC, and what's next. So it starts, it says, the team has news to share about what to expect in the future for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And just starting to read this, your heart's already sunk. It's already in your throat, because we've all read posts like this from development teams before. It says, just a couple of years ago, if you sat down and asked anyone here at Gun Interactive what would be a dream project for them, you'd hear them say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A pivotal film for any horror lover. Innovative, indie, and artistic, Gun brings that same spirit to making games. Being able to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre gets into the hands of players, it is one of the proudest accomplishments we've had as a studio. We feel proud of the game we've made, and we're happy that we're at a point where we feel the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has reached its full potential. From the beginning, we've always had a clear and concise vision for this game. We wanted to push the envelope on multiplayer asymmetrical horror, shed light on this iconic film to a newer generation, and place folks into the beautiful but macabre world of Muerto County, and we feel we have achieved that. For instance, telling the story of Maria Flores and her friends while bringing horror icons into the franchise like Kane Hodder, Barbara Crampton, Scout Taylor Compton, and Skeet Ulrich was all incredibly rewarding and important to us. While creating something new, we still sought to honor the 1974 film authentically, working from Kim Henkel's character Bible, as well as bringing back franchise favorites Bill Moseley and Ed Neal. And at this point, we feel that we have seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre fully realized. With that being said, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre will not be receiving any future further content or support. This means that there will be no more DLC balance updates or bug fixes after our upcoming May patch. You can still expect a few more patches in the future in order to transition towards peer-to-peer matchmaking. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre will still be playable and is not being delisted from storefronts. Our community team will continue to interact with our players as we continue to celebrate the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with all of you who love this game just as much as we do. As a creative studio, it's imperative to communicate that we've seen this vision through to a natural creative end. We are a scrappy group of horror heads and artists continuously working on bringing cinematic experiences to you all. We appreciate the folks who understand the vision we are bringing to the asymmetrical multiplayer horror space, because let's face it, it may not be for everyone. But those who get it, those who have widened their gaming circles to play the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those who have reveled in the terror, horror, and beauty of this world with their friends, keep us motivated and ready to continue what we do best. Make your favorite horror games. We wouldn't have it any other way. What's next for Gun? Stay tuned. So that was the dagger, guys. That was, reading through that whole thing, we have a lot to unpack here, a lot to dissect from this, but that was the dagger, man. Just reading this, this fucking hurt, dude. Like, this was tough. And I have this, I have this feeling about Gunn where I'm really fucking, I love him, but I'm really fucking pissed off at the same time because this should have never happened. Obviously, every live service game, every asymmetrical, not named Dead by Daylight, every asymmetrical live service game has a shelf life. We get that, content comes to an end, but guys, this game, I'm going to ramble now. This is unfortunate. I'm going to ramble now before we even get to dissecting this, but while I have the thoughts in my head, this game had potential like no other. Let's not talk about Dead by Daylight for a second. I hate always having them in this conversation, but a sustainable live service asymmetrical game. There is no game out there. No game. Forget Killer Clowns. Forget Predator Hunting Grounds. Forget, all these other asymmetrical games that are out here. Ghostbusters, whatever. Those are absolutely low tier, out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's league when it comes. Evil Dead the game, even. Out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's league when it comes to asymmetrical games. This game was different. This game reshaped the asymmetrical franchise and genre as a whole. As someone myself who's played asymmetrical games for 6-7 years now, I was trying to get out of the genre. This game single-handedly pulled me back in. Countless friends made on this game. You guys, the community, people have showed up to my streams, content, videos, all that stuff. The countless friends I've made. This is the one asymmetrical game that I have never gotten tired of. Every other asymmetrical game I've put down. Something about this game pulled me back. Between the lore, the gameplay, the authenticity to the first film. We were transitioning into getting new Leatherfaces from new films. That's now scrapped. It's the things like this that I'm talking about, that I'm thinking about, that hurts the most. We had execution packs. One leaked in the game, of course, the new execution pack. Apparently, that's now scrapped. We're getting no more DLC. This is one thing that I used to talk about on my streams all the time. Now I don't know where to go. Even with starting up my Gore and More channel now, and having the Texas Chainsaw Massacre content on it, now the game dies. So I don't know where to go from there. But this is one thing we used to always conversate on my streams about. Is what content can we expect? We were theory crafting and, kind of guessing what, of course they leaked the young girl killer, the family member, into the game. We were, theorizing what her abilities were going to be. My good buddy John Abizo, of course, that I play with all the time. We talk about it. John was excited about her as well. We thought maybe it was going to be a hitchhiker replacement. That's unfortunately not going to happen now. There is nothing to look forward to into this game now, and that's what hurts the most. Obviously, the game's still going to be fun to play, but it's going to be tough to continue consistently with this game, at least for me, guys, just because the potential that this game had and how hard it was fumbled. Now, I know a lot of folks in this community, brutal, asymmetrical community, are filled with brutal, toxic people. But Gunn, if you're out there listening, if you ever decide to watch one of my videos, let it be known I've always been a small content creator, but I've always supported you guys 100%. And I just want you guys to know that this one hurts, man. You know what I mean? I respect you guys. I thank you guys for bringing one of my favorite horror franchises to life. But this one's tough. This game was built on a foundation that should have lasted at least the bare minimum 5 years. Now, let's jump into this a little bit, guys, because I want to kind of reflect on this and, kind of echo what I just mentioned coming out of this. So they mentioned, the biggest part of this that I saw that they mentioned was they're transitioning to peer-to-peer matchmaking. So we'll be able to get more updates in this game. The only updates we're going to be getting are patches to transition to peer-to-peer matchmaking. Now, in my personal opinion, guys, once peer-to-peer matchmaking hits and live service ends for this game, or live servers, I should say, dedicated servers, once they end for this game, that is the end of this game. Because, unfortunately, peer-to-peer is going to be relying on one person to handle the server. One person's console or PC is going to be the server. Everybody else is going to be connected to that. If that person gets pissed off, which we do know a lot in this game, if you play in solo queue, family members, victims, they get mad and leave. Obviously, it'll be a family member hosted server, I'm assuming, because victims want to leave after they die anyway, or escape, whatever. But if a family member gets pissed, someone escapes, boom, they leave, everybody gets kicked out of that fucking lobby, and it's game over. So let that be known. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we knew this was going to happen. Like I said, guys, in this video, I'm going to be all over the place. I have nothing scripted. Everything's just coming off the top of my head, so I'm going to be going back and forth on stuff. But we knew this was coming. We knew the end was coming. And some, including myself, thought maybe it would be sooner than later, just because of how, how the patterns were. They weren't saying anything on social media, being very silent. The updates were getting very bleak. We went from bi-weekly to monthly to now bi-monthly, and, now we went to no updates at all anymore. So some expected, I honestly, guys, at the rate we were going, I expected to see another family member victim DLC, maybe another map, and the future would ride on the success of those. If they would have been good, I could have, I saw maybe another content pass in the future. If they didn't work out, I did expect content to be done by the end of this year and them to, announce that. But for them to drop this bomb on us, dude, like nobody expected this freaking early. And all of the stuff that has been not only leaked, but stuff that was actually advertised by them, like the hair pack. I know so many of you guys are probably upset about that. The hair pack, the execution pack, future Leatherfaces, they said about too. Like all of that has just been scrapped. They've been silent on social media all this time until like today, boom, game is shut down. We're finished. Like, that's the part that both hurts really bad and pisses me off really, really bad as well. Now, nothing personal against anybody at Gun. I love all those guys at Gun, man. Ronnie Hobbs, Wes Keltner, all of those guys at Gun. Even the community managers, some of them for the most part. Love them all. They're great guys, but man, dude, like, you had to have learned a lesson from Friday the 13th. Yes, I know the game was out of their hands. They had licensing issues, but even before those licensing issues, Friday the 13th had very similar problems like the Texas Chain Saw Massacre, and there's a good chance that even without those licensing issues with Friday the 13th, it would have suffered the same fate as this game did. So that, to me, unfortunately sounds like a Gun problem. They come in here with all of these ambitions. They have this, insane creative vision for a franchise that they want to turn into a video game. And don't get me wrong, it's the best creative vision that you could ever have by anybody, you know what I mean? Not even just in the development or publishing world, but these guys love horror. They know horror better than most, and it's tough to see them take on these projects, but they can't see it through all the way. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's funding or whether it's, getting the correct dev team on the project, to, fix the bugs and get content out quickly so fans are happy. We live in a day and age where attention spans are very short. People need content all the time. I get that. You can't accommodate that all the time, but you got to communicate, man. This is something that I've dealt with asymmetrical games for a very, very long time, is the developers and publishers, when things go wrong or something happens or, fans get crazy and toxic or whatever, they don't want to communicate. And I understand that to a point, but you're also alienating the people that actually support you and care about you and your game and want to throw their wallets at you to buy your content. Talk to us. Talk to the ones that actually care. Don't alienate your entire community. So that's where I'm at with that, guys. It's unfortunate, and it's just, I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest things too about this game is the original characters that they brought into this game. All of the victims, of course, we talked about Kim Henkel's Bible too, with those characters being put into the game, Nancy, Johnny, Bones, all that stuff, Hands, but the victims, the cast of victims, all new, all original victim players, all with their own lore. Many of us in this game have, connected with these victims. It's just like when you're reading a book or watching a movie and, the story of Maria Flores. It's just the story of Maria and her friends was brilliant, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that's what hurts this game the most, is because we're always wondering what's next, what's more regarding Maria's story. Of course, we have Virginia, too. Her story, what the hell happened to Jesse? I guess we'll never friggin' know. But we're going to continue hearing her scream about it. Skeet Ulrich, Wyatt, what's his further story? We'll never know, man. And that's the part that's tough. And me, as being a family main, the victim part's harder for me, because I connected with these victims, man. You know what I mean? Each one had an individual story. We all wanted to see these victims, continue their story and grow, and, it's tough, man. It's all over. It's all over. So, luckily for me, though, I got a good buddy, the Evil Dead guy. He does his own spin on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre characters, so he'll keep it going for us. So you guys, now, there's no better time than now. If you love these victims and these family members, there's no better time than go follow him, EDG Horror Gaming. Go follow him, because he's going to keep this content going that we're no longer getting for Gun. So, Evil Dead guy, if you watch this video, if you're out there, I'm pulling for you now more than ever, brother. But yeah, so it's unfortunate, guys. Like I said, I don't want to make this video about me, but somebody, as somebody who's put 3,500 hours in this game, continues to play, that has been loyal to this game since the tech test. I put everything, all of my cards, all of my eggs in this basket, however you want to call it, guys. Everything to this game. And I honestly don't know what to do now. I don't know what the long-term vision for me is now. Obviously, it's going to be different than this channel, because we're doing different stuff on this channel anyway. But as far as my horror channel goes, I'll have content to make on it. But nothing feels the same, dude. When I go and play Killer Clowns or Evil Dead or Predator Hunting Grounds or, I don't play Dead by Daylight, but any of those games, they don't feel like this game, man. I don't know what it is. What's different about this game as opposed to those games? This is, like I said, this is, outside of the atmosphere when it comes to asymmetrical video games. This is like God of the video games, dude. So it's like, what do we do now? And I can't trust another live service game. I don't know if I can ever trust to buy another Gun game. If Gun comes out with a game that is a licensed IP, asymmetrical, I cannot buy it. I don't even think they're dumb enough to even make that decision. After Friday, after this game, I don't think anybody's gonna buy, because they're gonna expect the same thing. The same thing's gonna happen. I mean, it's the pattern now. The best thing for Gun right now, and I think they probably know this too, is to make an original asymmetrical game. If they want to stay in the asymmetrical genre, I get it. That's what they do. That's what they're best at. They need to make a horror asymmetrical game of their own, based on Rush Week from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what they're going to be best at. That's what they're going to do. It's still sad that I'm having to say that, but if they want to continue as a company, I think that's what they have to do. Stop taking on these IPs. And everybody talks about, Ilphonic. They should have brought in Ilphonic for this game. Everybody thinks Ilphonic's the gods, dude, but look at all of their games. Ilphonic is the publisher and developer of their games. That's why their games are still active, still live, but all of them combined, don't have the player base or the dedicated fan base that this game has. And that's unfortunate. So, Gun, if you guys are out there, man, you can hear me. You guys are the masters of horror, and thank you for everything you did for the game, but at the same time, I'm still upset, disappointed. Really disappointed. I wanted to see more from these guys, man. Whenever the game first came out, they said they were going to do these basement, Q&As, and, they were going to talk to us with these streams. I expected, once a month they were going to be in the basement. It didn't even have to be for updates for the game. I just wanted to see fucking Wes and Matt and, little stuffed Nugget there sitting talking to us about the game. They were so passionate at first. So passionate, dude. boom, like that just fell off like so quickly. I mean, all of their faces, when you would see them live, there was no sense of like excitement, like horror excitement. And back when it first came out, it was like it was the 1980s. They were going to the drive-in movie to see Friday the 13th, or, the Texas Chain Saw Massacre for the first time. They were pumped horror fans, but ever since, it's been like, hey guys, we got an update. Here's an update. Here's the patch notes. No live streams, silent for a month. And it's like, dude, if you guys want to continue as a publishing company, like, you got to stop. You got to really change some of these practices. You got to really get over your kind of egos a little bit too. And I know a lot of people think, I do appreciate Gunn on one point for, standing up for themselves. And, I've always praised them for that, and, telling fans back and this and that or whatever, but you can only take that so far before you really start alienating a lot of your community. But guys, yeah, this one, this is tough, dude. I've done a few of these videos, more than I really wanted to. I've done a video on Evil Dead the Game closing down, which was tough. I did a video on Predator Hunting Grounds being abandoned when it was abandoned back then, before it kind of got revived again. And now I'm doing a video on this, and this one hurts the most out of any game I've ever talked about, dying. This one hurts the most by far. This is tough. This is really tough. So the only thing I can really say for now, guys, is get your content in, get your games in with your buds, bring your old friends back who you played with back in the day or whatever, whatever have you. Get your time in now, because once they shut down the dedicated servers, P2P or P2P, peer-to-peer, it's not going to be it, dude. It's not going to be it. You're going to get some games. You'll be able to play still. Yeah, you'll be able to play. That's their way of saying, yeah, you'll be able to play the game. But it's going to be tough to play peer-to-peer servers in this game, I'm telling you guys right now. And after that, once the license expires, it's going to be like Friday. It could be a couple more years. But once the license expires, they're most likely going to take the game offline. It's going to be done out of storefronts. They say they're not taking it out of storefronts now. I think they did that in kind of response to Evil Dead the Game, because Evil Dead the Game just recently did that. They said they're not taking it out of storefronts, of course, because they still got to milk that cash a little bit, but it's going to be done. Eventually at some point they're going to lose the license and the game's going to go offline. So enjoy your time with it, guys. I have learned a valuable lesson here. What's next for me? I have learned my lesson with these games, and I said this when this game came out. I said this will be the last asymmetrical game I get invested in. Obviously, all the ones I still play right now, including this one, but no more. I will not trust any live service asymmetrical game ever again. If it's not named Dead by Daylight, it is guaranteed to die, guys. And the Texas Chain Saw Massacre is the perfect example. Again, I'll say it for like the third or fourth time. It was miles ahead of every other asymmetrical game in the genre, and even it couldn't make it 2 years. Even this fucking game could not last 2 years. What does that tell you for the genre? I think it's a dead genre. No more asymmetrical games for me ever again. Live service asymmetrical, no way. That's it, man. I'm bitter. I'm pissed. I'm upset. Sad. I got fucking all kinds of emotions going. I'm like a woman going through menopause right now, dude. But yeah, this is tough. So I'm going to leave it here, guys, before I ramble on for another half hour. It's a shame. The Texas Chain Saw Massacre, rest in peace, ladies and gentlemen. Official. No more content coming to the game after this May update. We're going to get a May update. We'll see what we get with this. Maybe they'll drop the execution pack and all that shit in it. We'll see. Maybe, right? Maybe. I would love that. If they have any content left in the studio, fucking drop it in this May update. You see what happens, right? But that's it. After May, no more content, guys. Live servers are in the process of being shut down. We're moving pretty quickly here with this, with the end of this game. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the video, man. Again, thank you all. Like I said, this will be the official last The Texas Chain Saw Massacre video I have here on the channel. If you guys want to see me talk about it, discuss it, play it, check us out over on Gore and More. I'll leave the link down in the description. We play this game almost daily over there still, so come check us out over there, guys. Love you guys. Man, it's been a hell of a ride. Here's Sergeant Moose. 350 plus streams of this game over here. Miss you guys. And we'll see you over there in Gore and More, hopefully. And rest in peace to the Texas Chain Saw Massacre, man. I'm pissed. We'll talk to you later.